Listen, when he called Lil Buddy incel 3PO, I about hollered. We're talking about Doctor Who, Season 2, Episode 1 on Disney, called The Robot Revolution. Let me tell you a little story. I had this little buddy in high school, and all he did was lie. When the guys would be standing around talking, most of them talking shit as they normally did, most of them talking about women, which they normally did, most of them lying, which they normally were. This little dude's lies would just be extravagant, just to the point where you look at him and know everything that come out of his mouth is a lie. But he always lied with that sense of, it was alarming. Like some of the other stuff that people would say, you know, there were some people, I was one of those people, I don't kiss and tell or not kiss and tell. I'm not talking about none of my exploits or what, you know, for the rare times that I was even hanging out with the fellas. Because I was cool with everybody. But when it came to, you know, late night hanging out and they got drinks or whatever it is they're doing, listen, it's a bunch of hard ankles together. I'm not trying to hang out with y'all. Where are the ladies at? That's where I'll be. And they always had something to say about that because I chose to be where the women at. Yeah. The hell I want to hang out with y'all for? Y'all just stand around mad and bitter and you want to drink and talk shit. And I didn't realize, and I am today's years old, or, you know, a couple months years old, finding out about this thing called incel culture. Didn't know. That was not a part of my life just because of the life I led. However, I did know people who were part of that. I just didn't understand that it was an entire subculture and that this whole push for the alpha male and where misogyny is making a huge comeback, you know, and of course, America, you know, all of the things that are making an awful comeback. You know, we're so fast to try to make America a time that was not great for anybody. Racism is coming back huge. Sexism, colorism, ageism, a lot of the isms are making very bold stands in these years around us right now. And it's actually incredibly sad. Anyway, long story short, my little buddy, and I'm saying little buddy loosely, he was a problem. And the more he would talk, especially the more that oil he had him, the more he would drink, the things that he would say were highly, highly alarming. And one day he said something about hurting his ex-girl. He said something to a way when I told one of the other large dudes, I was like, hey, you're cool with her, right? He's like, yeah, you know, I got her in class and she, you know, helps me on my lab work or whatever. And I was like, listen, you might need to pull a coattail. That I said, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, holler at her. I'm just saying that your buddy, your boy there is a problem and she might be in need of some help. So, you know, you got that imposing, like nobody messes with you. You might need to, you know, tell her if he get out of pocket to call you. He said, no. He said, I was thinking the same thing. And it just so happened that he was over to, not her house, but they had like a community, I don't know, office, like a clubhouse in the apartment complex that she lived at. And my dude, he was trying to graduate and she was helping him with some work. So they were sitting there kind of studying together, but just that studying, cause dude was, you know, he was huge teddy bear, but huge, you know, no one messed with him. And he wasn't just huge, like fat dude huge, no, them was muscles. And little buddy showed up and lost it. Now, he's not even going with the girl anymore, but for some reason, he thinks he owns her. He monopolizes her time. He don't want anybody talking to her. He don't want her talking to anyone. And he come in, and even though my partner, they were cool, he blew up. Now, I don't know what he was thinking, but he tried to attack old girl for working with, studying with my partner. And my partner got up and beat the brakes off his ass. Like, he beat him like he stole something. He looked like Martin after he fought hitman Tommy Hearns. It was bad. That was my first experience with this type of alpha male incel culture. And unfortunately to say, not the last. Hello, Governor. This is Tate, nupefromdaville. We're here to talk about Disney's Doctor Who, Season 2, Episode 1, called The Robot Revolution. Now, for me, this is Season 15, Episode 1, but however you mark it down, same thing. We are with the 15th Doctor, Chutigatwa, and we find ourselves with a new companion. We're introduced to her very early in the show. She is sitting on a park bench with a little dude. He presents her with a gift. He buys her a star. Said that he wants all her hopes and dreams to come true. He buys her a star and gives her a certificate that he bought this star for her. It's hers. It's one of the lamest gifts ever. It's like buying a gift without actually getting you anything. It's something that you would never touch any of that. But it's one of those gifts if you're giving credit, you're giving points for the effort, for the thought, I guess it's a great gift. She was like, okay, well, thank you. And then he gives her the world's most awkward kiss. And we learn later in the episode, but then after that, as far as he's concerned, they're together. And then he gives her a whole list of rules of what she can do, what she can't do. You can't be texting anybody after 8 o'clock. Like, he runs it down. And she's like, boy, stop. Like, you done made that up. Who you think you are? My daddy don't got that many rules for you, And she pieces him out. And she assumes that he has moved out of town. And she doesn't really see him for like the next 16, 17 years is where we catch up with her. She's a nurse at a local hospital, and it's a bad day. We see the doctor show up, and he's looking for someone in the hospital. Apparently it's her. She goes home from work, and she gets kidnapped by some robots who are looking specifically for her. The doctor is close, but he's too late. We see Ms. Flood next door, and that's a whole different subject. The doctor goes in chase, and they end up on Belinda Chandraville, her planet, the planet that is named after her. There's a weird glitch that happens when she's going. Come to find out when she gets there, she is the queen of this star. They made her the queen of this planet. But the planet is overrun by robot overlords. The robots are in charge. And now that she's here, the queen, she is supposed to get married to the AI suggestion, the AI interface, something like that. And he's the head of all the robots. The doctor's already there. He's been there for 6 months and he's been waiting. There was a glitch and somehow he went through some kind of time worm. He got there before she got there. And he's been helping the humans there who are subjugated get ready to rebel. So when she gets there, he shows her that, every ninth word, the robots don't pick up on it. So every ninth word, he says the real message. There's a woman, Sasha, 55, who's helping the doctor. She doesn't make it. She gets red-shirted. The doctor's upset. He drops the Denzel single tear. And they keep working on this rebellion. Belinda decides to give herself up. And they take her to the AI interface suggestion thing. Come to find out, it opens the thing, and it's Alan, that boyfriend who disappeared 16, 17 years ago. And somehow in a glitch, she told them, you need to go get him. He's the one who bought me the star. And they went and got him. They went back in time, but they went back like 10 years. And that's where he disappeared to. But he became part of the machine. It's almost like little bits of the Matrix sprinkled in here. So my little buddy in the chat on Discord, which you absolutely need to get in Discord, called him incel 3PO. Because he was still the same chauvinistic, misogynistic pig, but even worse because he had power to go behind it. The doctor figured out how to combat that, and Belinda defeated him, and he disappeared. But when the doctor's trying to take her home, somehow the Earth wouldn't let the TARDIS go there. It was repelling the TARDIS. So now he has to figure some kind of way to get her back to Earth. You know that I like my quotes, and I have 3 today. The first one is from Virginia Woolf, an actress in Orlando. She says, as long as she thinks of a man, nobody objects to a woman thinking. The second one is from Jane Austen in Persuasion. I hate to hear you talk about all women as if they were fine ladies instead of rational creatures. None of us wants to be in calm waters all of our lives. And the last one is from Betty Bet Davis, and she says, when a man gives his opinion, he's a man. When a woman gives her opinion, she's a bitch. Now, I've thought long and hard about what I'm going to say, and I still don't know, because I understand that this incel culture is a slippery slope. It's a tricky thing to talk about at all. There's a lot going on the internet right now about the rise of incel culture, subculture, and most of the time, people don't want to hear you talk about it, especially me, because I happen to be a man, and no one wants to hear a man talk about incel culture. I'm just finding out about this culture, or that it has a name. It's not new. It's been around for a long time. Misogyny is nothing new. Patriarchy is nothing new. We are living in the time of the isms, and a lot of the isms are back, and back in the worst way. And this is another one of them. There has been a rise of a lot, with YouTube, and I understand that you're watching this on YouTube or on my Patreon right now. So the internet has given rise to anybody, anywhere can say almost anything that they want to say. Now, if you say what you want to say, yes, there can be consequences behind what you want to say. And a lot of people prescribe to the musings of Kevin Samuels, to the international musings of Andrew Tate and his brother, who seem to be particularly problematic. And they're not the only ones. There's a couple clowns that were on the internet called Fresh and Fit that, that fell into trouble because of their misogynistic incel sort of views. Now, here's the thing. And I understand, I saw, all the women right now, they brace for impact, and they, some of them are sharpening their knives. Like, go ahead, say it, I'll slip. And okay. Everything that a man says is not wrong. Just like everything that a woman says is not right. We need to be able to listen to each other. We are on entirely new grounds. Hear me out. One of the worst things that's happened over the last several years is that if you say anything about someone who is part of the LGBTQAI plus community, then it's hate, and they go in on you. And it's amazing how they employ mob tactics, like mob mentality, and go in on you without listening to what you said, the context of what you said, or even considering that what you said may have actually been true or factual or right. None of that. Doesn't matter. How dare you speak of someone from this community? When it's crazy because everyone in that community doesn't even get along with each other. They don't. Misogyny is not new. And we just voted in a clown who wants to take America back to the 1950s. What was so great about the 1950s? Now, if you're already in your hundreds and you remember your prime years, you're like, oh, I just want to go back to us 20. I get it. But it's another millennium. It's 21st millennium. We're in a new place now. Things are not like they were for me 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and it's okay. You have to adapt. You have to change. And a lot of people are unwilling to do that. There is nothing nice. There's nothing good with this sort of subculture. In this episode, it was cringy, beyond cringy, to hear the rules that Alan put forth for Belinda. Like, where do you get off? And that's beyond talking about traditional roles of men and women. And I get it. There was a lot of hate here recently for Anthony Mackie when he talked about how he wanted to raise his sons. And they said, it's misogynistic and stuff. But no, he said that he wanted his sons to be respectful gentlemen. Because apparently in all this misogyny, there's no place for chivalry anymore. How dare you open the car door for me? But then you stand there pissed off at me because you want me to open the car door. How dare you pull my chair out for me? I'm a capable woman. I can do this by myself. But as soon as I become emotionless about this, then you have a problem with it. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Because that's what people of a misogynistic nature, that's what they want. Their cake and eat it too. And now in this sad piece culture we have, they want to eat some other people's cakes. And that might even be literally. I don't have any answers. But I think it's absolutely a conversation that needs to be had and something that needs to be talked about, that we can try to remove emotions as much as possible and apply some logic to it. And I said as much as possible on emotions because we can both be emotional, men and women, and we can both be logical, men and women. Or however you identify. I don't even want to go down that road. I'm not talking about your pronouns, your gender, how you identify yourself. It is a new day, and I get that. But how do we get past this? How do we make this world that we all inhabit a better place? That's the real question. And that's the one I'm going to pose to you. I don't pretend to know anything about this, and I'm trying to learn and figure out as much as I can, as fast as I can. This episode was not jarring for me because I can just look at Alan as being an asshole. I was like, good for Belinda. She should have punched him in his shit. But unfortunately, there's a lot of women who deal with people who are out of control. And a lot of men, people across the spectrum, are dealing with people that are in this culture. They bully other people and they believe that their way is right. That's not going to make this a better place. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what we want this to be, a better place. Land of freedom, land of hope in your dreams, and that's not what we got. This is Rakai Steed, nupefromdaville. Make sure that you like this message, share it as much as possible. Comment, help me learn. I know that it's inevitable, it's unavoidable, and you're probably gonna come for me because half the shit I said was wrong, and I get it, and I'm gonna acknowledge that. It's probably wrong, but I'm putting out there, this is how I feel, I said what I said. I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to change and adapt. I have a daughter who I love more than anything in the world, and I want her to be with a respectful partner, whatever gender or however they identify. If she likes it, I love it. But I need to help teach her and my sons how to be the best people they can be. Because they're dealing with a world now that I didn't deal with when I was coming up. So I need to learn so I'm on top of it, on top of everything for them. If you've not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and remember that everything I do, I try to use this. But even more importantly, I use this.